Hi, I am Lauren Bitar, and welcome to my third book set. My featured text for this set is Song of the Water Boatman. This book is a collection of poetry about different animals that you would find in the pond ecosystem. I chose this book because I wanted to give myself a challenge. I do not particularly enjoy poetry, but I wanted to use this book set to really think about the importance of poetry in my classroom. I wanted to give myself time to think about how I could incorporate poetry in a fun way for not only my students, but also for myself. My first lesson is a fifth grade science lesson. The students will have a lesson about ecosystems. Then they will collaborate with their peers and use the jigsaw strategy to learn the educational terms regarding ecosystems. The students will then use critical thinking as they engage in a form of assessment on IXL.com. This will test the students' knowledge of the terms that they just encountered during the jigsaw strategy. In order to add creativity to the assignment, the students will create their own ecosystems. The students will select animals and will essentially create a food chain of consumers, producers, and predators. Students can select any animals they want, but each animal must be a consumer, producer, or predator in the specific ecosystem that they belong to in real life. The students will communicate their understanding of animals' roles in the ecosystem by engaging in hot seat, an adaptation of the comprehension strategy. Their peers will ask them questions about their ecosystems and the students will have to answer them. The students will then create video presentations of their ecosystems using Bitable.com and publish these videos to the class's YouTube channel to demonstrate their understanding with a wider audience. My second lesson is a fifth grade English language arts lesson. This stems off of the science lesson that the students have just engaged in. The students will use critical thinking by taking their ecosystems that they have created in the science lesson and transforming it into a poem. The students will creatively display their poems with pictures and elements on Canva. Here's an example of a student work on Canva. The students will then get into groups. In their groups, the students will identify the theme and summarize each other's poems. The students will collaborate with each other to edit each other's poems and to give constructive criticism. The students will then publish their work to Kids Blog. The students will communicate with their other peers who weren't in their groups by commenting on one another's Kids Blog posts. Now for the other books in this set. First is The Clown of God. When I first read this book, I was blown away by the simple impact that the pictures had on me. The images mean so much, and the way that this story is written really makes you reflect on your own life and how you can offer up anything and everything you have to other people. The next book is Stregonona. When I picked this book to be in the set, I had no idea that it was written and illustrated by the same author as The Clown of God. I decided to keep it in this set because I thought these two books together could be used to go a bit deeper into the author's purpose of writing these books. Students could compare the artwork, artistic style, and writing styles between the two books. What drew me into this book, Showway, was the amazing artwork and the rich story that goes along with it. I loved that the author compared the lineage of her family to a quilt, woven together and strong. One thing that stood out to me about Emmanuel's dream was the line, "Being disabled does not mean being unable." I think this is such an important fact that we need to be teaching our students from a very early age. As teachers, we have the opportunity to change the mindset that people have of people with disabilities. I think this book is a great way to introduce people with disabilities and to help students learn that they deserve the same amount of opportunities, respect, and dignity shown to them as anyone else. Bambinelli Sunday. The pictures in this story really made me feel like I was back in Italy. The illustrator did an amazing job with all of the details that really made me feel like I was standing in St. Peter's Square with all of the children on Bambinelli Sunday. After the Fall. This book was very powerful to read. The first time I read it, I got a little emotional. While the book never explicitly talks about mental health, it has themes that encourage getting up and trying again when you are feeling down. I think it is very important to start the conversation about mental health with students from a young age. The Ugly Duckling is a classic story that relates to the difficulties of looking different from others around you. This story is great for teaching students the effects of hurtful words. Thank you for watching my third book critique.